Good morning, hello, welcome to the TriathlonDan YouTube channel. This video isn't about me today because it's not all about me anymore apparently. However, I just wanted to let you know that I've been for definitely forgot to do this when I got back, been for a run. The stats are probably on screen somewhere here. It was alright, it was a run. It was a little bit too warm for a base layer, but a little bit too cold for a t-shirt. But anyway, Liz's turn now. Let's have a look at this bike, shall we? I'm really sorry. It's me, not Liz. Liz had the first COVID vaccine yesterday, so for those of you that have had the vaccine, you might have suffered some side effects. She's unfortunately not 100%. She's okay, she's not too under the weather, she just doesn't want to put herself in front of a camera and be happy-clappy like I am. Anyway, so I'm going to talk you through Liz's new bike. She's going to come back on it in the next few days and, I don't know, talk us through what I've missed, who knows. But it might mean that you get the exact correct spec rather than whatever Liz was going to say. No offense, Liz. So I'll just give you a bit of a background on Liz's riding for those who don't know. She picked up a bike about 3 years ago. I got her a ladies cyclocross bike. It was about 12 kilos. She started riding that and got on with it. So after a year or so, I built her up a Dolan road bike. It's a lovely bike, carbon frame, 7 kilos, nice wheels, Di2 group set. She absolutely loves it. She's gone from strength to strength with the riding, to be honest. And we did 100 miles last year, riding the Peak District, all that sort of thing. She's really progressing down that slippery slope towards cycling being an obsession. Now, with this year's events in mind, we try and do a half Ironman as a relay between us once a year. So we have that planned. We also have a few local time trials planned, and I'd hoped to get her, progressing down a journey of time trialing. So getting her some clip-on bars, working in TT position, doing a few time trial races and so on. I hadn't planned for her to get a time trial bike this year. However, she mentioned to me a few weeks ago that she'd quite like a time trial bike. She wants to do that to be in time trial races. And I said, I don't think you should. I think you should give it a go this year. You don't know if you're going to like it or not. You don't know if you're going to like the positions or the events, etc. And she said to me, and I absolutely understand this, hence why she's ended up with a bike, Daniel, you can't tell me not to buy a bike. Like with all the bikes you've got. I was like, yeah, okay, fair enough. And Liz buys things herself. So she's got the money to buy one. She wanted one. Who am I to tell her not to buy a bike? As we know, I have a bit of a problem with buying bikes. So that was it. We sort of began keeping an eye out for a suitable bike. And thank you to the gentleman who has ended up selling us this bike. It's an awesome bike. So we ended up coming across a bike that I thought was too high a spec for a first time trial bike, if I'm honest. However, those points I've just said, how can I discourage Liz? What I think we've done is bought a bike that I know I'm not going to have to touch. I've not got to build. I'm not going to faff around making things work or bodging things. It is just going to work out of the box. She's going to be future-proofed for a long time with it. She's not going to need to change any parts of it because it can quite literally do everything. So, is that justify it enough? Let's have a look at the bike. Watch out, large vehicle reversing. Now, I know I only said this exact phrase a couple of days ago, but as the massive white letters might give away, this is a Canyon. I'm going to try and hide my excitement for 2 minutes. Before I get on to talking about the bike, I just really want to give a massive shout out to Nick at NRG Chains, as the t-shirt gives away. Not only has he saved me from doing as much washing this week, because I now have some fresh threads, he's also hooked me and Liz up with enough change to sink a battleship this year. So on this channel, I don't just sell out to somebody who sends me some free clobber. I will only work with companies who their product is excellent and their value for money is also excellent, but also if they're a legend themselves. So James, my coach at RideHarder, legend, great product. Obviously look at these quads. Nick at NRG Chains, great product, really believe in it. I work with him because he's a legend, that is as simple as. So when I mentioned to him that Liz was looking for a time trial bike, without hesitation, he sent me enough kit for me to sort myself out for all this year, wax chain wise, but he's also sent Liz a rainbow raced wax chain and some ceramic bearing jockey wheels. So massive shout out to him. It just reiterates what sort of a great company he runs. So she's really happy to get on board and join the NRG family, or whatever we say, whatever influencers say nowadays. So yeah, thank you very much. Let's get cracking. If any of you guys want a wax chain, I wouldn't recommend it if I didn't absolutely believe in the product. There's a link down below where you get £10 off of a race chain. So yeah, you're welcome. I don't get anything from that, apart from the t-shirt. Check them out. So, the bike, what is it? You've probably already read the lettering while I'm babbling on about NRG. It's a Canyon Speedmax CF SLX. Now, when I was looking for time trial bikes for Liz, I was thinking, go to sort of like entry level, something that's quite basic, but nothing's cheap. they seem to be quite a lot of money for even quite a basic time trial bike. And to get something that's the right size was few and far between. You didn't want to buy one brand new, lots of supply chain issues and actually finding one, etc. So this came up on eBay. Thank you to the gentleman who sold it to me, who I've now converted to being a subscriber. Maybe he was just doing that to get some money out of me, who knows. But yeah, this is it. So it's Canyon Speedmax CF SLX. It is only 2 years old. It was bought in December 2018, I believe, according to the receipts I've got. And it's been used very, very sparingly. So I cannot find a mark on the bike anywhere. The drivetrain's in excellent condition. There's no marks on the bars or anything. So for all intents and purposes, this is pretty much a new bike. However, I know that the model's been superseded by the new model, but we've also saved quite a lot of money buying it this way. So when I say we, I mean Liz has bought this bike herself. It is a size small. It is the CF SLX. So Canyon did 2 models of this, the CF SL and the SLX. The SLX has over the SL, it gets the built-in hydration here, so you have a little, not going to start licking that, don't worry, en route. Also gets a built-in Garmin mount in between the bars. Gets some built-in storage on the top tube, so you can fit a CO2 canister in there and a tube. You also get the bottle mount behind the saddle. I think you might get on the SL as well. Please correct me if I'm wrong. There's a bottle cage on the frame. That's going to come off because that's not aero. And yeah, I think that's all the SLX gets over the SL. It is supposed to be a higher grade of carbon, slightly lighter, slightly stiffer. Whether you actually notice that difference or not, I don't know, but it is that, so it says it on the tin, so we'll go with it. The base bar has got rubber built into the edge of the base bar, so you don't have to put any bar tape on it or anything. It's very adjustable. They've got all the accessories with it to change position. Obviously, Liz is quite new to time trialing, so she's going to want to adjust her position quite a lot over the first few months. So that's the frame. It is a men's bike. However, we went on the sizing indicator, and based on Liz's sizes, this is the correct size bike for her. She needs to get a bike fit on it, obviously, but it should fit her really well. There's not very many women's TT bikes for sale at all. Group set wise, it's Ultegra Di2, it's Ultegra R800 or R8000, 8000 isn't it, I think. It's Di2, it's got a standard size crankset, so 5339. It's got an 1128 cassette on the rear. It's got synchro shift. That means that you don't need to think about the front mech. You just go up and down, down the left, up on the right, and it changes the front mech at the best possible place. In terms of gearing ratios, I think this is probably spot on for Liz. She rides a compact crank on the road in the hills. This is going to be mostly used on flat and rolling events, so I think a standard crankset will be absolutely fine. It's a 170mm crank. It's also got a staged power meter on it as well. I don't know if you can see that or not. Which means that because it's the same on a road bike, she can actually use this for a power meter on a road bike as well. So just to completely ruin cycling for her, she's going to have a power meter on a road bike. Going on to the wheels, we've got a Zip 808 rear and a Zip 404 front. I think this is a good blend of like aerodynamics and not ending up in a ditch. Being a lighter rider, you struggle more in the wind. I'm sure some of you guys might struggle more. I'm a little bit more planted. So having a 404 front means that she should be okay in pretty much all crosswinds. She's going to give it a go. If it is too much for her, then we can put a shallow front wheel on, but I think she'll be okay on this. The rear you don't really struggle as much with. She has also got, thank you to Clint at Easy Disc, she's got a clip-on disc wheel for the rear as well. I'm going to do a separate review video about that, so I want to do it some justice. And again, Clint is another legend. Is that it? I'm missing anything. It's got a Physique Mystica saddle. Saddle's very individual, so I'm not saying this is the saddle she's going to use. I actually wanted to give one of these saddles a go for a long time, so I'm glad that I've finally got hold of one without me having to pay for it. Because I have the Triathlon at the minute, which I used on my Canyon a little bit. But it's got a smoother front nose, and it's got the top is like rubber, so that's me trying to slide my hand. It's really sticky, so that should be quite good. She gets top tube nutrition storage in there, so for some snacks. The Di2 junction box is hidden in this bit back here, so you can charge it nice and sleekly. It doesn't sit in the wind anywhere. It's got Continental GPTT tyres on at the minute. I think I'm going to swap these out for something a bit more robust. The last thing Liz wants is a puncture on an event, as anybody does. I used these tyres on TTs last year. I didn't have a puncture all year, but I did worry a bit because they don't really have any puncture protection. So I think maybe like a GP 5000, 95% as fast as these. But a lot more puncture protection might be more beneficial, or like a Schwalbe Pro 1 or something like that, who knows. I think that's it. But aside from whatever spec it is, how and much it was, whatever size it is, all of that, I'm absolutely stoked that Liz has got a genuine interest in riding a TT bike and getting faster, doing time trials, that sort of thing. I think with all the uncertainty we've got about events this year, particularly with like big triathlons, it's good to have something to focus on that you know is going to go ahead. So like the local time trial series is probably going to go ahead because of the nature of time trialing. So to see that she's got a genuine interest in wanting to do that and get better at that and be competitive, absolutely makes my day, because we could go and recce the courses together, we can go to the time trials together. They don't take all day. Chances are I'll be able to watch her for some of it, and she'll be able to watch me for some of it if we're staggered starts or something. So I'm really, really excited for that, and I hope she gets used to it. But do you know what? If she doesn't get used to it, if she doesn't like it, it's not the end of the world. The beauty of buying a second-hand bike is you could probably resell it for similar value to what you paid for it. So that's pretty much the plan, to be honest. I also know that this is future-proofed. If she does learn how to swim, me and her both, this could be used for triathlon up to iron distance. She's got everything that she needs on it, so I'm not going to have to start fiddling, and she's not got any more expense with buying things or upgrading the bike at a future date. It is just ready to go. It's a real honest bike. It seems absolutely brilliant. So I'm really, really excited, genuinely, to see her ride it. So we'll get back on in a few days to talk about it in a bit more detail, which is a bit better. But yeah, let me know down below. If any of you guys have a Speedmax and have got any tips for it, I've got any reviews or anything, please do let me know down below. I know what you're thinking. Daniel, are you going to make her have it sprayed blue? Well, it's entirely up to her. Well, a bit of a blessing, a bit of a curse. When I had my felt sprayed, I shared my painter's contact details, and thank you, John, great guy. Been a bit overrun with work he has, so he's taking a bit of a break because he wants to spend time riding his bike rather than painting bikes. So, which, you know, rightfully so, I completely agree. He's having a bit of a time off painting bikes, so she might have to wait a little while. She did want it painting, and she's not quite sure, so I think she's going to have this for a little while and just think about it, which is absolutely fine. It's a great colour scheme as it is. It looks really good. And the Canyon have a 6-year frame warranty, so to paint it and lose that might be a bit of a shame. But I'm not going to discourage her if she wants it painted, so we'll see. So yeah, that is it. And that, I promise, is the last new bike day video for a little while now, unless I get a second or third job. So thank you very much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed this. Give the video a like, subscribe if you haven't already. I said I wasn't going to say it anymore, but I just did. Oops, oh well. And I'll see you tomorrow at 4 PM, and hopefully we'll see you, Liz, at some point in the not too distant future.